What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here on Fairfax in West Hollywood in front of the world famous Oki-Dog, which may not be world famous in a traditional sense, but it was an impactful place, a meeting spot, a true if you know for an entire generation, an important community throughout Los Angeles. Of course, I'm talking about the punk rock scene, but this is a story of the world famous Oki-Dog. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with this. Oki-Dog is a bona fide, verified cultural institution. Jonathan Gold wrote in 1990 that he ate at Oki-Dog more often than he ate at home when he was a teenager. Anthony Bourdain was equally attracted to these strange concoctions, saying, "What fiendish mind thought of this?" And the LA Times said that it's so horrible, it's wonderful. So what exactly is the namesake Oki-Dog? It's two hot dogs wrapped in a flour tortilla covered with chili and pastrami and wrapped up like a burrito. Or going back to Jonathan Gold, he said it's a cross-cultural burrito that's pretty hard to stomach unless you have the tummy of a 16-year-old, but it's strangely delicious nonetheless. Now, usually fiendish, horrible, and hard to stomach are not exactly ringing endorsements, but Oki-Dog had more going for it than the food. In fact, a late-night visit to the original location on Santa Monica Boulevard was something of a rite of passage for the burgeoning LA punk scene in the 1970s and 1980s. In fact, in 1982, there was a song by Youth Gone Mad called Oki-Dogs, and the Circle Jerks actually signed their first record contract at Oki-Dog. But what really made it was the food was cheap, you could come as you are, and it was open all night. It also happened to be located in the middle of a bunch of nightclubs, including the Starwood, which gave many future rock stars and punk bands their first gigs. Now, it was originally called Danny's Dogs when it opened in 1965 by a man named Ronald Risk. It was purchased by the Tsuyoshi family in 1971, and that's when Sakai, better known as Jimmy, took over and started transforming Danny's from simply a hot dog place to a cultural lodestone. He created the Oki-Dog, and it was an immediate hit on the menu. It was named after his hometown of Okinawa, from where he immigrated in the 1960s when he was poor and unhoused. Once in the U.S., Tsuyoshi enlisted in the military and served in the Vietnam War, and then he saved up enough money to go from sleeping on the streets to helping those who were on the streets with food and work. The Oki-Dog took on a life of its own culinarily, but it also represented the nonconformist, anti-authoritarian ethos that would eventually be Oki-Dog's calling card. He made sure the food was inexpensive. You could get a burrito and fries for less than $2, which went a long way for cash-strapped punks. Then, as now, Oki-Dog didn't mind customers loitering on the worn picnic benches outside, which meant you didn't even need to order food to hang out. It was an obvious draw for the punk rock scene, who had nowhere to go after a late-night gig. By the 1980s, it was simply the best punk hangout anywhere in Los Angeles. And it was vexing for authorities because they conflated punk rock with violence and danger. In fact, in 1985, the district attorney tried to close it down for quote-unquote disgusting behavior and as a roosting place for crime. But it survived and thrived with Jimmy slanging those Oki-Dogs night and day. However, in 1990, the West Hollywood City Council shut down Oki-Dog as it was called a gathering place for drug users, prostitutes, and undesirables, and the quote-unquote Mecca for the dregs of society. The Tsuyoshi family ended up opening a few new locations, including one on Pico and another on Fairfax. And even in the new locations, Oki-Dog retains a loyal following and has been featured in numerous movies, TV shows. And though it's been a while since Oki-Dog was the Mecca for both the dregs of society and the punk rock scene, the triumph of Oki-Dog is its staying power as both the hub of a very important LA culture and the home of an LA American dream story. So the world famous Oki-Dog is still going strong today, but it's important as an LA landmark, the hub of a culture, an entire Los Angeles community. It's right here, the world famous Oki-Dog. All right, LA, it's been a minute.